that was like, yeah.
Or like, really not even like 2 seconds afterwards, didn't he give Umaga the code breaker?
Oh yeah, yeah. No, I mean that was a. Don't get me wrong, that was a good spot and it looked like really dangerous. But yeah, with not too long after that, he got right back in there.
Yeah, like he no-sold the shit out of that.
Uh-huh. Then he was looking to hit the Samoan spike, but he get hit with Sweet Chin Music, followed by a Codebreaker, followed by a Pedigree, and then finally a Swanton from the top of the pod. Then Jericho would go for the cover and Umaga would be eliminated. Then right after, Shawn Michaels would get hit with not Shawn Michaels would get hit. Shawn Michaels would hit the Sweet Chin Music on Jericho, and Hardy would pin him, and Jericho would be the next eliminated. So now we're down to 3. Hardy, Shawn, and Triple H, but then Jeff Hardy would hit Shawn with the Twist of Fate. And then Triple H would send Hardy to the outside, and then Triple H would hit Shawn with the Pedigree and would eliminate him. So for a match that I guess really for a while went actually without a lot of eliminations, like they kind of like waited like a while before they really had like a lot of like eliminations. And then really, like, within, like, a span of, like, a minute, we had, like, 3 quick ones.
Yeah, well, I could see that because, again, it took them forever to eliminate them. So, like, they probably did that for, like, time constraints, to be honest. But at the end of the day, I thought this was the right final 2 for me.
Yeah, and maybe going back to what we said about Taker and Batista, these are probably like the 2 guys who had to been like the favorites.
Oh yeah, and considering that back in Armageddon 07, they did battle for a number 1 contenders match.
Yeah.
Which Jeff Hardy won in order to get that shot, so like it makes sense.
I personally thought that, I'll save that for the end. So we'd be down to Triple H and Jeff. They trade blows with one another. I guess that's what you do when you're the final 2 guys left in a match like this. Then Triple H would send Jeff to the outside again. He'd try to throw Jeff into the steel chamber, but Jeff would block him and drop him on the steel flooring with the DDT. Triple H get busted open. Okay, there's a guy got busted open, and that makes sense. Hardy would look to jump off the chamber wall on Triple H, but Triple H would kick him in the gut. He'd look for a pedigree, but then Jeff would counter into a back body drop, sending him back into the ring. Hardy would remove the shirt because he has to do that every single time he looks to go for the win. He'd look for the swanton and would miss. Triple H would hit the pedigree and would get the win. No, he didn't. Hardy would kick out, actually.
Yes.
And then Triple H would take a chair, from the chair from before that JBL had used, and he tried to use it on Jeff, but Hardy would low blow him. That's not a characteristic of him. But I guess it's no DQ. It's a style of the match, I guess. So, it's like anything goes.
Yeah.
But not many times in your career you saw Jeff Hardy do a low blow.
No.
He tried to hit the twist of fate on the chair, but Triple H would reverse it, sending him down with his back landing on top of the chair. And Triple H would hit the pedigree a second time, this time on the chair, and would get the 1, 2, 3, and Triple H would win his 3rd Elimination Chamber match and would go on to face Randy Orton at WrestleMania.
So we thought it was just going to be him and Triple H.
Yeah, but you knew with how the Cena match ended, you knew that you saw the triple threat match, I guess, coming like with how this all turned out. Although I'm not gonna lie, like going back to like even that little poll where like they wanted Hardy, like Hardy was like the number 1 favorite predicted to win. I actually truly believe that Hardy was actually probably the guy they wanted to rather see face him than Triple H and whatnot.
Oh, probably. I mean, that Royal Rumble match was bad. So
that was actually a good match.
But obviously, that plan would have been changed anyway because Hardy never even participated in that Mania anyway.
No, he ended up not participating in that. But I thought this was a great Elimination Chamber match.
No, Raw definitely had the better chamber match.
Yeah, I thought without a doubt Raw had the better one. I did like the SmackDown one earlier in the night, though. I did like it, but this to me was great. I forgot how great it actually was, but Triple H would win 23 minutes 54 seconds, 4.25 stars from me and 4.5 from you. Both really enjoyed this.
Yes. Yep.
The final show rating for me was a 6 out of 10. Could be better, could be worse. Definitely thought, regardless, this was a bit better than the 2007 show. Mostly just the chamber matches for me saved the show. But overall, I consider like an average pay-per-view.
Watching up, I enjoyed it. I gave it a 7. I kind of liked it when I was watching it. You know?
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that. But once again, I thought it was like the pay-per-view before Mania, so could say it was definitely predictable. Probably could say that.
Yeah, I'm not thinking it was like off the chain, you know, but like it was definitely good in my opinion for me.
Uh-huh.
You know?
I don't think it was bad. I mean, six is like average for me, so I mean, not a bad show. If you guys are listening aren't doing anything this week and you just want something to check out, if you want to check out the show, I'd recommend. I mean, checking out both chamber matches probably. If I had to look at something from this and try to sell someone on on the show, I definitely saw them off that. Wouldn't sell them off the world title matches or anything else, but I think the chamber matches for the show would definitely be enough to definitely would be the selling points here.
Yeah, I probably agree with that.
So in the aftermath, got the aftermath here actually. In the weeks to follow, we'd have more WrestleMania storylines continue to shape up. The following night on Monday Night Raw, Jeff Hardy would demand General Manager at the time, William Regal, to give him a non-title match against Randy Orton, where if he won, he'd be added to the WWE Championship match at Mania. Triple H would take part in that match, special guest referee. Cena would win that match, making the title bout at Mania a triple threat between him, Triple H, and Randy Orton. Big Show the next night on Raw. He would, of course, this is the follow-up to, what happened on this night with Floyd. He would challenge Floyd Mayweather to a match, and then Floyd would accept, and at WrestleMania 24, they'd face off in a no disqualification match. Then on the February 26th edition of ECW, CM Punk would defeat Shelton Benjamin and Elijah Burke in a triple threat match and would earn him once again another shot at the ECW title against Chavo. Then on the next week's show, this is the March 4th edition of ECW, they'd have the match where Punk would once again lose to Guerrero. It would be announced that there would also be a 24-man Battle Royal featuring guys from all three brands, Raw, SmackDown, and ECW at WrestleMania. And the winner would go on to face Chavo Guerrero for the ECW Championship later on in the night. Rey Mysterio on the February 22nd edition of Friday Night SmackDown. This is all in 2008, which, I mean, that's all we've been talking about. But he would announce that he had suffered the biceps injury. Well, I guess he had pointed it out on this night, like earlier, but I guess he would say now that he would need the surgery, and that would take him out of action for a while. Which is actually unfortunate for him because, I mean, it'd be unfortunate for anyone else, but I guess especially in his case because this would now mark the second straight year that Mysterio would not be able to be a part of WrestleMania due to injury.
Yeah, think about that. That was so after he won the world title in 22, he did not participate in the next two.
Yeah, he couldn't be in 23 and he couldn't be in 24. And then this would end the Edge and Mysterio feud. But then Edge would begin his feud with The Undertaker. By far one of the best rivalries of the time period. I really love this one. Definitely SmackDown's best feud of 08. They battle for the World Heavyweight Championship in Mania, what is considered by many, including myself, to be one of the greatest WrestleMania main events of all time. Can't wait to talk about that show next month, along with all the other WrestleMania JNC Rewinds. Then on the February 25th edition of Raw, Ric Flair, who was set to be inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame, would challenge Shawn Michaels to a match at Mania. Michaels reluctantly accepted, of course, because the deal was still going as it was on this night, as it was in the Rumble, and all the time before that. That if Flair had lost another match, he'd be forced to retire. So.
I might be going crazy, but I could have sworn Shawn actually declined first.
I think, well, he was reluctant to accept it. Like, he didn't want to at first, but then Flair talked him into it eventually during that.
All right.
So then at WrestleMania 24, we'd have the dubbed career-threatening match between two of the all-time greats. Then next month, of course, in March, as I just said, WrestleMania 24 is a show we will be covering as part of our string of Mania JNC Rewinds. It is one of my favorite of all time. It's one of my favorite Manias, and I truly look forward to covering that one. Now on... Oh, you too. Sorry, I always do that. Like, I always give a little pause because I'm like waiting to see if anyone has like another comment. Then I just get going, and I feel bad because I feel like I cut people off sometimes.
You're fine.
So now on to the usual reminders, everyone's favorite part of this show.
Oh, yes.
Of course, WrestleMania 24, along with WrestleMania X7, 21, 23, 10, 15 now, actually. We added 15 to the lineup. That's going to happen. And 19. Those will all be coming your way in the month of March. Starting with WrestleMania X7. That will be next week's JNC Rewind, so be sure to tune in for that. And also, we will have AEW Revolution 2020, that review and recap. We will have that done for you as well. But if you haven't yet, be sure to follow us on Twitter and Instagram, JNC_radio. Be sure to like our Facebook page. Of course, our social media platforms are the best way to stay up to date and, catch up on all the latest news and updates for our program. Then, of course, we're available on all major platforms, including Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Play, iHeartRadio, Spreaker.com, all major platforms, YouTube. So be sure to check us out on all those. If you haven't yet, check out the JNC Radio website. It has a full archives page on there. If you go to the episodes page, it'll take you to direct links of previous shows. So if you are having difficulty finding the show for whatever reason, go to the website, jncradio.weebly.com. That'll direct you right over there. And so be sure to do that. And yeah, I think that's pretty much all we got.
Yeah, this was our final rewind of February. Hope you guys enjoyed it.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, this was WWE No Way Out 2008 JNC Rewind number 16. Hope you guys like this one. We'll be back with WrestleMania X7 next week, along with our AEW Revolution review and recap. Hope you guys like this one, and peace.